We are on part 2 of Ask Steve, where we're gonna...
Yeah, what are we doing?
I don't even know what the heck we're doing, but we're just taking a drive, man. We're
taking a drive?
We're taking a drive, literally, in this beast of a car. I don't even know what to call it. but hopefully, if we survive today,
you'll be fine.
You'll get some of this video, hopefully. Dear God. I already took off my hat, my hair.
You lost your hair already.
I lost my hair, I lost everything, man. Like, but we're alive. We're gonna survive. So where are we headed, anyways?
Alive and survive. So I gotta run some errands in Allison. I gotta pick up rental checks and some other stuff with regards to my tenants. And then while we're there, I want to show you guys that project there in Allison. Or I gotta take a look at it anyway. So
this is the project.
Yeah, that 12 townhouse project.
Wicked. So people should know kind of what you're up to, because you're not just a typical real estate agent, I don't think.
No.
Between supercars and
no supercars.
no supercars, but this is a beast.
This is an everyday driver, buddy.
Oh crap! Oh, if this is your everyday drive, gosh, I don't know what's gonna happen when you actually get some crazy money and start investing, right?
Investing where?
No, I mean in cars and real estate. Because tell people about kind of where you started. Where was your passion?
I could buy a sports car, but why would you spend that money? You know, so everything I make, it gets reinvested into real estate.
Right.
So I don't sell the product to people. I actually buy it. I am a consumer.
Right.
So I think that's where. Even in my industry, it was confusing when I first got into real estate, and asking agents, I was so naive, and I would say, what do you own? And nobody owns anything. They just own their personal residence, which was kind of sad.
Right.
You have so much access to information.
Right.
And how do you sell if you're not buying? I think that's. You gotta look at that, right? How far are you committed to investing in real estate?
Well, there's also a misconception as well too, based on what people are doing and where their money is going into, kind of their lifestyle, right?
People spend in flash. It's that Instagram life,
Right.
Everything looks perfect through the
eyes of the
screen, and then it's like a bunch of worms and rot later. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense. I think ultimately you got to remember, so parents immigrated here in '68 from Italy. We got that old world mentality too, right? Mind you, I spend frivolously. I'm not gonna say I'm a saint. My wife is a lot better than me, let me tell you. But I mean, ultimately, majority of the money goes to proper investing, right? Back into the market, so your money's making money. So so this Allison project, in return, if we sell it at where I wanted to sell at, it should make about 500% return on investment.
Wow.
And that's something your high school
teacher,
university student, or teachers, professors
tell you about.
They're not gonna do it. They don't do it themselves.
No, they don't do it themselves. Right.
This is just an entrepreneurial spirit.
Right. So you spoke about your parents growing up. Where did you grow up? And death again.
Gotta get gas. This is probably driving an AMG.
Yeah, we were full about 2 minutes ago.
No more lights on that. Look at that. We're definitely.
The gas light is on.
Kimi Räikkönen yesterday when he just floated into practice.
Wow. Yeah, no, I was saying, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Malton, born and raised in Malton.
Okay.
So we moved to Woodbridge. In grade 5-ish, so grade 6, first year. So summer of let's say grade 5. So 12 years old and moved to Woodbridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've lived in Woodbridge most of your life, also?
Yeah, from at least till I got married. So between 12 and let's say 20, maybe 30 actually. Yeah.
Oh. So how about the transition? How was
Mind you, when I got married, I lived with my parents. So I got married at 25.
Yes.
When we bought our first house, we moved to Bolton.
Right. And how was the transition?
From Bolton to Woodbridge?
Yeah.
Oh, very tough. Two different worlds, right?
Gosh.
Yeah.
People wouldn't know though, right?
No.
They just assume, but they wouldn't really know.
Yeah, it was quite different. So Malton was a good old town, right? We're blue collar. My dad was a carpenter. Did well financially, I believe, with framing. He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
So blue collar community, everyone was. We went to Byway. I don't know if you were probably too young for Byway.
No, I remember Byway. I think Byway was on
Byway when it was good.
Yeah, it was on its way out.
But it was like they re-trend. It was like they restructured it and they made it look nice and such.
But you had, you had the byway.
Like we wore like jogging pants with elastic bands where you saw your socks. Before, now in today's era, everybody wants to show their short pants. We didn't have a choice back then.
Correct.
That was, you bought Wayne Gretzky stick-on jogging bands. That's just the way it was.
Right.
Didn't even like hockey, but I had Los Angeles Kings.
Isn't that how it is, though? You just got whatever you could take.
But you know what? The community was cool because everybody was accepting, right? It was like, but everyone was the same. So it was just, we didn't care what you had, what you wore. It didn't matter who you were, right? So it was a bit different. Like, mind you, I left in grade 5. Maybe every area was like that. But I know transitioning to Woodbridge, it was a different world because...
You had to live up to a different standards, I guess, right?
Let's say Malton was where these people may have first started, but then ultimately, they moved to Woodbridge a lot earlier than we did. So Woodbridge basically is an Italian community, majority. Now it's diverse, but still 100, I think, majority Italian, European in that sense, right? But a lot of them had businesses. They were entrepreneurs. They had small businesses in construction, so everyone had that extra money, right?
Right.
And I gotta get gas.
I don't know how you drive cars like this. Like, I want to cruise. Like, you just want to zip.
Oh yeah, it's all
nuts.
zipping.
Like, it feels comfortable. I'd rather be in the passenger seat. Thank you very much.
So this is a Speed Shift 9 speed transmission.
Right.
So it's fast, it's quick. But the other one's a dual clutch, like a racing transmission. So it's insane. So and not only that, so this is the turbocharged more. It's still very advanced, the turbocharged system in there. But that one there, they call it a hot V. So the turbos are built right in the V shape of the motor, on top. Usually turbos are below on the exhaust. So by the time the turbos start spooling, there's that lag. So you hit the gas, and then it takes 2 seconds to pick. That one there, because the turbos are in the V, you hit the throttle just like.
Insurance on my back.
That's a flaw for this car. See, the full V8 version would let you just see the motor shut down. Doesn't make you fool around too much.
Listen, thank you, car.
Flaw. It's sad. It's flawed. It's flawed. Like, governed at 130 miles an hour. Like, just you can remove it, but you'd screw with the warranty.
No, it's okay. Good job, car.
Some water, dude.
No, I'm okay after that driving. Car, imagine you're just gonna get a clip of me just like losing it while you're driving too. God.
Yeah, so this is the area I grew up. This is where I moved with my wife originally, Bolton, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
my mechanics actually, cellos.
Oh wow.
Great mechanic.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
I see. He's even pitching his mechanic in this.
No, they're great. They're great.
No,
no, honestly, you say it when
All right, so you're in real estate, right? Obviously. Well,
you want to go back to that Malton thing?
Yeah, man. Like from you transition from Malton and then to Woodbridge.
Yeah, Woodbridge was different, right? It was so everyone was already, let's say, on their way, like their parents in a sense, right? So businesses, money's coming in. Obviously, taxes were a lot different back then too. So they retained a lot more money than when today's market, let's call it, right? So if you're a tradesman back then, and you had a small business, you made $200,000, you were like top of the heap, right? So, anyway, so yeah, different transition. So the kids grew up, I wouldn't say better than us, but they had more. So so our area, it was built in '92 in Woodbridge, but that area it brought in all the different zones of like Toronto. So Rexdale, Jane and Finch, I was from Malton. So it was like a mixed match of different. So we got, and then we got bussed out to this community, actually near my office now. Okay. And yeah, totally different, right? Like everyone was different. They dressed like now, like jeans, like the good shoes, right? And stuff like that. So it's different. We had to trend. So it was a culture shock in a sense, right?
You had to transition though.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't seem like it was difficult. It was
do or die.
Right, correct. Pretty much, right?
Within the first month, you stop wearing jogging pants, right?
It's like, and kids are cruel too.
Kids are brutal.
Kids are the worst, actually. Like you didn't have the hottest trends, or you didn't have the latest stuff. You're being ripped on, right?
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, so
brutal. Kids are brutal.
I can imagine.
I fear for my kids. That's the thing.
It's changed now, though. Nowadays it's changed.
It's the same thing, buddy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in real estate. You did the transition. You did the move. I'm pretty sure there was other jobs you had. You didn't just grow up in real estate.
Yeah, no, for sure. So my first job, I was a mechanic actually. Well, mechanic. I was working part-time at a mechanic shop. So we worked.
That explains the cars.
But that before the cars, I was passionate.
Wicked.
So I learned how to drive standard when I was 15, right? It's just
Right.
like when everyone was out getting coffees, I'd be sitting in the back of the parking lot, you know, clutch gas.
Wow.
Clutch.
Wow. See.
Now everything is a paddle shift, right? So
Right. Yeah.
it's
So you don't even use it anymore. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. This is, you don't get better driving than this.
That's
fast
crazy.
shifts.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, it was good. So I worked there part-time, and then part-time. It was 30 hours a week when I was 16.
Right.
During school years, right?
Right.
But it was a good job. It was probably put me in the right direction. Let's call it, because in school I wasn't the greatest. Not because I couldn't learn. It's just because nothing really.
It wasn't for you.
Nah, it wasn't. Nothing captured me, you know.
Right.
Like it's just there was nothing there to capture. I think they had to have schools,
Right.
like different schools for different kids, because we can't just put everybody into one mold. It doesn't make sense. And
People learn differently.
no, everyone has different likes and dislikes, right?
That's true,
Why am I
yeah.
going to learn science if I'm a math or if I'm gym? You know what I mean? Why don't we work on people's strengths rather than people's weaknesses? There's a
true.
good poem about that. I forgot the poem, but it was a school for animals. It's called, and it was like. The duck was a great swimmer, but he was a weak runner.
Right.
So they focused on his running. So they made him run until
Right.
he ran, and the web of his feet worn out. Now he can't swim. Became a mediocre swimmer.
Right.
There was like maybe 5 analogies in there,
Right.
but that was the one I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, right? So
It does.
so yeah, school. So then naturally, where'd you put your Andy? Causing trouble. So I wasn't the greatest kid, let me tell you, in school. So. Oh, good. You kind of look at life like, what's your main purpose in life?
That's
right?
correct.
Think about it. What's your main purpose in life? And I think for me, it's definitely giving my kids an opportunity to be better than I could have been.
Right.
You know, our parents gave us an opportunity. Now we have to better the next generation. That's our jobs. I think
is.
people get confused with that. You gotta better the generation that you've conceived. Basically,
Right.
you gotta better that generation.
Right.
Because if we keep it all stagnant, if we had a better life than our kids, and mind you, now that we all can't do it, but it doesn't have to be with money or anything like that, or how many toys you have. It could be just with love, right?
Right.
Or
Correct.
Stuff
Right.
like that, or
See, that's amazing, man.
Education, right? You
See,
want to
that's
give them
amazing.
right?
Why aren't real estate agents saying that? Why do I always see the flashy cars and I see the glitz and glamour,
Culture,
but
right?
you know you don't
Well,
you don't.
it's like basketball players, right? And
Yeah.
or like sports figures. It's the same thing.
Everybody has
And
their
they're
why, right?
bankrupt.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like they show one thing and then behind the scenes it's something
Yeah,
else.
it's a disaster, buddy. Like,
Right.
You
See
know,
that-
so many people. Like, not to say my life's perfect by any
Right.
means, but I mean, you know, we work every day hard, like me and my wife, to better our relationships, better the kids.
Yes.
And you know what? I think you have to admit to failure when failure is there. Because if you don't admit to it,
Yes.
you're never gonna improve. You know? It's
Yeah.
one of those things, buddy.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
So with all that said, what's your main goal in life? I know you said it's obviously to provide for your kids, and you want to accomplish that goal to give them a better life than you had growing up. Is there any immediate goals that you want for yourself coming up, like in the next 10 years? Where do you see Steven Zolinardo? Where do you see yourself?
I have
going?
everything's planned. I actually just our friend from the East Toronto, Hussein, we had a chat this morning.
Oh, wicked!
Because we're doing some masterminding, and yeah, you know, everything's laid out like for the next, so from 2023, right, where I want
Yes.
to be and what I want to have. So there's definitely big goals, and obviously, as you can see, I'm reaching to development and building. Like I think that's where I want to be. I wanted
Yes.
to be there when I was 19, and you know, it's just I had to take a detour around
Yes.
and figure things out. But I mean, ultimately, I'm setting myself up perfectly with so it's just not gonna do it because the money's involved in it.
Right.
It's the I'm a Lego kid, you know. Like I like to build things. It was one of those. It's that, you know, instant gratification. You build
Correct.
something.
Correct. Okay, so you're speaking about getting somewhere. You want to get to your ultimate goal. There's something always on your mind that's pressing you. What is the one thing that keeps you up at night? What is the one thing that
Keeps you up at night?
Yes.
Yeah. Good question. So for me, honestly, raising yuppie kids. Yeah, and I'll be straight on that, right? Yeah, no, I wanna
We're gonna edit that out. No,
no,
we're gonna leave it.
But it's the truth. Like, I don't know. Like, what is the definition of yuppie? But I mean, ultimately, it's the like you want them to like work hard for what they want. They're gonna earn. I don't want them to like say.
Give it.
Yeah, no.
Correct.
Like I think you're doing a disservice to them because if you learn
yes,
and you learn to earn,
yes,
let's call it. Doesn't matter what you do.
Yep.
But you know how to. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to help your kids and naturally, but I'm saying you don't want them just to be dependent and they never fly the coop. You want them to like. To make their own moves when they have to, right? So that's a fear of mine, and I told my daughter, imagine she's only 6, turned 7 now. I was like, there's no free rides. You gotta go to work. Like, you know, it is what it is. You gotta be passionate in what you do. Don't just do something mediocre. Wow. And going back to mechanics, I'll go back to the transition to because this kind of ties into it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you do in life. You gotta do it always the best. And I remember when I was a mechanic I was pretty much a janitor.
They let you touch the cars whenever they
just move them in, and that was it, right? And
right.
Yeah. No, but they were actually good. They let me do a lot of hands-on.
Oh, wicked.
I learned quick. But anyway, so going back to that, I remember getting in there. It was like my job was to get in. Number one, clean the tools, clean the bathrooms, sweep the bays, wash the bays, and then wash cars. That was my entry into a job, which is I don't care. It was working. It was around cars. They specialized in Volkswagen, which I was a huge fan. Still probably now, but I mean more in the European German sector, right?
Yes.
So I had to clean tools, and there was other apprentices there. They would clean them and they put them back dirty. You know, they wouldn't spend the time. My tools were put back like spotless, and then I would go above and beyond. I would just not being told. I would organize all the drawers, pull out all the drawers. I'd spend like 3 hours organizing all the toolboxes.
Right.
And when I would wash the bays, it wasn't like a quick sweep or
no, you went deep in there.
Deep, buddy. So a pressure washer. So the floor was black when I got there. After I was gone, like the first time I did it, because I pressure washed everything. The actual concrete was green, right?
Holy.
So it was the first time to see green like 5 years. But so just to go back to that.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you're doing the best you can at it, right? You're giving it 100%.
Right.
So that's what I want my kids. Like obviously, I would love for them to go into law, right?
Yes.
To get their law degree, but I mean ultimately, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
I mean, that's my goal for them. What they want to do at the end is their choice.
Just whatever they do it to the best.
Do it to the best. Like my she's in competitive dance now, so she's like, and you ask them, you gotta ask your kids these questions. Like, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to be?
Yep.
And she tries to make me happy and say, well, I want to be a lawyer. I don't say that because I want you to be a lawyer.
Right.
Don't say that. I said, what do you want to be? And she's like, well, I want to be a dancer. I said, so then be a dancer.
Nice.
I said,
nice.
She goes, maybe own a school. Great. You want to own a dance school? So what you got to figure out a name now. What do you want to name it?
And she's 7.
Yeah.
No.
But imagine you're.
She has the entrepreneurial spirit already.
But it's you're opening avenues in their mind. Like we were, my parents went to work and they came home. It wasn't like they gave us an opportunity to open our minds where we can start talking to our kids. So going back to bettering the next generation, you can open up different avenues in their mind where it's like, yeah, I can own the dance school. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do. So let me figure out a name. So you're giving them the tools and the confidence now.
Right. Because typically people would be like, okay, you want to be a dancer? Okay, cool. Yeah, be a dancer.
Don't talk to me again.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Become the best dancer you can.
European parents were not the most patient, right? It was you got a spoon, a buckle, a belt.
Oh my God, I can relate. Trust me, I can relate.
Well, you're Jamaican, right? So you're free with their hands like that. What are you gonna do? Those are the days, right? Now it's like, wow, you can't do anything. Right?
Wow, but I love it. I love the fact that you've already said it. Your kids, are your wife and your family and your kids are your biggest motivation, right?
Oh, by far.
And to put them in a position where they themselves are prepared for life and you're providing that, that's probably your biggest accomplishment.
Yeah,
you would say, right?
It most definitely. This is I waited 37 years to get to the point where I'm at now. I wouldn't change it because it's a journey, and the whole point was to get married early and to have kids. I would have got married at 21. I got to be honest, if I had the opportunity.
Really?
I swear, yeah.
Off the market at 21.
Honestly, so I met my wife. Imagine, she was 21. So imagine, so I met her at 23. I met her and proposed. So 23, I met her. I bought her diamonds. A diamond earring, diamond necklace in 2 weeks that I met her, because we met around Christmas, and then within the 13 months, I've already, so 6 months later, let's say I'd already bought a ring. I was paying it like monthly because I couldn't afford the whole ring. And then I picked it up 13 months later, I proposed to her, right? So she was born, so November 19th, I proposed to her. Yeah.
So kids nowadays at 21 are still playing video games. You're proposing with diamond ring.
Well, I was 23, right? And then she was 21 because she's a few years younger.
Right.
And then we got married. I was 25 and she was 23.
Wow.
But we felt ready, you know. Like I was working with my dad. I was in school at that time too, night school, doing all the necessary work. That's prepping me now, actually, in the development.
Wow.
See how things work, right?
Everything
connects. So basically shy of, I think, a couple of credits of civil engineer. But I never was going after civil engineer. But I've done enough of the classes to, if I wanted to be a civil engineer. But I mean, that was just to better myself and what I was doing to my dad, right?
That's correct.
So I could read a plan. Like people didn't understand the fine print of it or how to, like go to the schedule and kind of locate different things like regarding the structural beams and stuff like that. They would just in carpentry, the foreman would write, this is what you got to put here. But you didn't have to write it for me. I can go back and read the plan 100%.
So the more I talk to you, I get like mechanic, I get civil engineer, I get construction, because you were into construction as well too.
I was a framer for 8 years, right?
So okay, typical real estate agents, their careers start at any point in their point on the map. Basically, they can go from being a plumber to a real estate agent.
Not even plumber. It's more,
not even plumber.
Even like someone that's got a corporate job.
Correct.
And then
and into that.
Yeah.
So you've actually dibbled and dabbled into many different aspects of what builds a home or what creates a home.
Yeah. The
and then you go
package.
into selling and investing. Everything else.
Buddy. This is why it's just natural that the next step is development building.
Right.
Because it just makes sense. Right.
Everything just feels like it's flowing for you though.
It's right there. We're at that level. We're on the next ceiling. We got to break through that ceiling. Once I either build, joint venture, or sell this project here that we're gonna go look at now, that's it. It's gonna then it's open.
Yes.
It's open game. So I got plans to build. I think by 2023. If everything works to where I want to go, I want to build about 66 houses, right?
Wow.
So like in a year, and I think I'm capable of doing that just based on what we do in real estate,
correct,
and how we push and go, right? So I think ultimately, as long as I can break through this first period here with this first development, I'm going to be able to reinvest the capital and start building this mold, right?
That's amazing,
like
man.
Stamp.
That's amazing. Like honestly, some people will say, "Oh, I've been around homes all my life. I've been in the construction field. I've been in real estate." But like I'm just saying this. It feels as if you are Mr. Real Estate, technically.
Yeah. It's great. It's fun, right? Like real estate's cool.
Yeah.
Can't get better than that.
Well, listen. Let's see if we can do this. I'm gonna ask you some rapid questions now, and we're gonna go outside of the mold of Steven's own.
We're gonna have to launch the car here. This is perfect. Look how nice that is.